You know, I've spent over 20 years delivering other people's letters. Love notes, eviction notices, Christmas cards, and final goodbyes written by trembling hands. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the day I started delivering mail from the dead. Yeah, I know how that sounds. You probably think I'm crazy or drunk or making it up for attention, but I swear to God, everything I'm about to tell you actually happened. My name's John McCrae, and for most of my life I was just a regular mail carrier working the East Willow route in Ohio. Small town, quiet people. The kind of place where the diner still serves pie for $1 and everyone waves whether they like you or not. I liked that routine, the hum of the truck, the feel of paper, the sound of a dog barking from behind a fence. It kept me grounded, kept me human. That piece ended last summer. It was a Tuesday, June 10th. The sky was clear, birds singing, same as any other day. I was sorting the mail on the hood of my truck when I noticed an envelope that didn't belong. It was cream-colored, heavy paper, no return address. The handwriting was beautiful, old-fashioned cursive, the kind you only see in history books. The name on it read, Mr. Charles Whitmore, 19 Forest Lane. I froze. Charles Whitmore had been dead since 1971. I knew because I passed his grave every day at Pine Hill Cemetery. His house didn't even exist anymore. I turned the envelope over, and that's when the hairs on my neck stood straight up. Stamped across the seal was a postmark, East Willow Post Office, June 15th, 2027, 2 years in the future. I thought it had to be a prank until I saw the handwriting again, because it wasn't just familiar, it was mine. Every loop, every slant, every shaky curl on the M's and F's, it was my handwriting. I opened it right there in the street with my hands trembling. Inside was a short letter. The grave is not the end. He's still there, waiting. The red oak holds the first key. You must dig June 15th, sunset. You'll understand then. JM. Those were my initials. I stood there for a long time trying to make sense of it. Maybe someone found an old sample of my writing. Maybe some bored teenager thought this was funny. But I couldn't stop thinking about that oak tree behind Whitmore's grave. I told myself I wouldn't go. I tried to forget. But on June 15th at sunset, I found myself standing in Pine Hill Cemetery with a flashlight and a shovel, staring at that red oak. The evening light bled through its branches like fire. The ground looked soft, almost as if it was waiting. I started digging. The air was thick and still. 10 minutes in, the shovel hit metal. I unearthed a small rusted box, its lid sealed with wax. My heartbeat felt like thunder in my ears as I pried it open. Inside was another letter, same paper, same handwriting, same initials. It read, "You're close. Go home. The next delivery comes tomorrow. Burn after reading." I didn't burn it. I couldn't. The next day at the post office, I found another envelope in my stack. Same cream paper, no return address. Addressed to Ms. Eleanor Sparks, 122 Hemlock Street. That name made my stomach twist. Eleanor Sparks was my neighbor when I was a kid. She died in a house fire in 1989. Her home had been rebuilt and sold years ago. I opened the letter behind the truck. It said, "The fire wasn't accidental. Her son saw everything. He never spoke of it, but the mirror in the attic still remembers. Break it." That night, against every shred of reason, I drove to 122 Hemlock. The current owners were away for the summer. I broke the attic lock and climbed inside. It smelled like dust and mothballs. I found an old mirror leaned against the wall, its surface spotted and blackened with age. I stared at it until I saw my own reflection ripple like water. I swung a hammer and shattered the glass. Behind it, stuffed between wall beams, was a charred leather diary. The first line read, "Mom knew. He told her he'd burn the house if she spoke, so she stayed quiet." There was a photograph inside, Eleanor and her ex-husband, his face circled in red ink. A week later, the news broke. Police had reopened the 1989 Hemlock fire case. The suspect, her ex-husband, had been found living under a new name in Kentucky. My knees gave out when I read it. Whatever these letters were, they were revealing the truth. Someone, or something, was using me to deliver messages from beyond. After that, they came regularly. Every few days, a new envelope, always from the future, always written by me, always addressed to the dead. Each one pointed toward an old tragedy, missing children, unsolved accidents, forgotten crimes. Each one turned out to be real. Every discovery felt like justice, and punishment rolled into one. I started losing sleep. Sometimes I'd hear whispers when I sorted the mail. Sometimes shadows would move in the corner of my eye, and sometimes I'd find footprints outside my house, muddy and small, leading nowhere. Then, one morning, the final letter arrived. July 28th, addressed to me. John McCrae, 14 Birch Hollow Lane, postmarked August 2nd, 2027, 2 years in the future. I sat at my kitchen table staring at it for nearly an hour before opening it. Inside were the words, "You must finish it. One more remains, the truth about you. You've buried it deeper than any grave. Don't fight it. Go to locker 413 at the old rail station. Midnight, he'll be there. Waiting. J.M." The old East Willow rail station had been abandoned for decades. Boarded windows, rusted tracks, graffiti on every wall. But that night at exactly midnight I went. The moon was low, the air heavy with mist. My flashlight flickered as I walked the empty hall. Every footstep echoed like someone following right behind me. Locker 413 was near the far wall, its door slightly open. Inside was a cassette tape and a newspaper clipping yellowed with age. The headline read, "Mailman survives collision that killed family of 3, investigation inconclusive." Beneath it was my own teenage face, 17 years old. I remembered that night, though I'd buried it deep. I was driving home in the rain with my learner's permit, the radio humming. A car came around the curve, headlights blinding me. I swerved. The next thing I remembered was waking up in a hospital bed. My uncle told me it wasn't my fault, that the other driver lost control. The police never pressed charges. I never questioned it again. I pressed play on the tape recorder. Static crackled, then a voice came through. My voice, older, worn. "John, if you're hearing this, you've followed the trail. You've delivered truth for everyone else. Now it's your turn. The accident was your fault. You know it. You were speeding in the rain. The other driver swerved to save his kid. You blacked out and they died. You buried the guilt, let your uncle rewrite the story, but they never left. They've followed you for decades. Every street, every mailbox. They wanted forgiveness. You gave it to everyone but yourself. The letters weren't punishment, they were redemption. It's time to remember, John. Only then will the deliveries stop." I dropped the recorder. It shattered, still whispering through the broken speaker. "Remember." The room felt thick with air, like the whole station was holding its breath. I could sense them, 3 shapes in the dark. A man, a woman, a child. I remembered their faces from the newspaper. The headlights, the scream, the silence. Tears blurred my vision. I fell to my knees and whispered, "I'm sorry." The air shifted. The cold lifted from my chest. For the first time in months, I felt warmth. When I opened my eyes, the locker was empty. The tape, the clipping, gone. All that remained was a single folded paper on the floor. I picked it up. 3 words were written across it in my handwriting. "They forgive you." The next morning, I turned in my badge and uniform, told my supervisor I was done. He asked why. I just said, "Some letters were never meant to be delivered." I walked out without looking back. Days passed. The whispers stopped. No more envelopes, no more shadows. The town went back to being ordinary. But sometimes, when I pass Forest Lane, I still feel a breeze that smells faintly of rain and old paper. Maybe it's just memory. Maybe it's them saying goodbye. I don't talk about this much anymore. People wouldn't believe me if I did. They think I left because of my knees or my eyesight. But the truth is, the dead don't haunt you because they hate you. They haunt you because they want to be heard. And if you listen long enough, you might hear your own voice calling back. Because sometimes forgiveness doesn't come to you. Sometimes you have to deliver it yourself.